Sweating to the truth, nothing but the truth. Put my hands on the Bible, y'all point me to the booth. Sweating to the truth.
Yo, what's going on with it, man? So I got a crazy one for you today. I know I'm late. I'm talking about this P. Diddy thing. I'm like a week late. And so I'm not even going to give you a whole 3 minute clip. I found a short. And of course, we're going to, we're going to talk about that. But I also want to add some more stuff to it to kind of give it some depth. And it's things that people have already said before. Uh, but there are things that have come to the surface for me, videos that I've just seen that um I guess kind of shed some light on stuff, probably connected some pieces, blew my mind as well. But I said, hey, maybe if I'm seeing this and this stuff that I'm interested in knowing, then maybe my subscribers are too. But nonetheless, without further ado, let's go ahead and tap into the short and let's talk about it.
A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York. Today, I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. This office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. No one should doubt our commitment on that. A year ago.
So that just got me wondering how deep this thing is actually going to go. Because man, people get behind the scenes and talk all that stuff, but when it really come down to them names that's higher than you and can pull your card, a lot of times people dial back. We've seen this stuff with the Epstein, with the Epstein files. We know there are some big names on that list, and we know the reason that they aren't releasing the list is because the names that's on the list and people's cards get pulled. But to add on to a lot of the stuff that they found during these raids and stuff like that, 1,000 bottles of baby oil, bro. That's crazy, man. What did they have going on? 1,000 bottles of over that Johnson and Johnson baby oil going crazy, man. Big guns, bro. Big guns. Tommy guns, 100 round drums, serial numbers, defaced on the mugs, bro. I'm talking about big stuff you get big time for. So if this is true, I think a lot of this is still alleged. I think a lot of this is still alleged, although they did say that they had a lot of tapes and things that was going on at these freak offs. Um, it looked like Diddy ain't getting away with this unless he give up some names. And it's crazy, bro, because we've been speculating this stuff for years. I I, I know people always been talking about they can't wait for the Surviving Diddy documentary to come out. Um, and it's definitely gonna do that. Um, but if he gets convicted, if he gets charged, found guilty, he going away for some big time unless he can give up some big names behind this stuff, bro. There are some more things that I want us to consider because I seen two videos. One of Judge Joe Brown and the other of another guy who mentioned Puff Daddy's name, whatever his name is, who mentioned him during an interrogation that he had with the police officer. And I thought that what he was saying was very, very interesting because the stuff that he came out with or the stuff that he was saying, all of this stuff came out before Lil Rod came out with the stuff that he said. Cassie came out with the stuff that he said, and a lot of that stuff that this man was saying was is completely lining up with what Lil Rod and Cassie was saying. And he was saying some other things too. But I said all that to say that I think the stuff goes a lot deeper than what we actually think. Because Judge Joe Brown, and I'm gonna play the video here, but he said some interesting things that when it comes to cases like this, sex trafficking, the international drug trade, a lot of the things that's going on, these are cases that the FBI investigates, not the DOJ, but which is the Department of Justice. But the Department of Justice is the one that is investigating this. Now, usually how it all works is so the FBI will be the one who investigates it. The FBI takes all the evidence that they gather and they get and they go and take it to the DOJ, and the DOJ, Department of Justice, are the ones that do the prosecuting. But the DOJ are the ones that's doing the investigating and the collecting and the gathering, and then they are the ones who are going to be doing the prosecuting. Now that seems shady to me, as Judge O'Brien would say. It seems to be some type of cover up, because why are they doing this? And I said all that to say that we know that the DOJ has been on some real shady stuff lately because of how they have been doing a particular person over the past year or so. So let's listen to what Judge Joe Brown has to say.
Premises was located that they searched in Florida. He had a second mansion. They didn't touch that one. Why not? And when they walk out of there, they got a small trash bag and they have a medium-sized cardboard box. What was it they seized that would fit into those items? I have a sneaking suspicion from my background in criminal defense that what they seized was some evidence that was very incriminating to other people. Now, after they seized the evidence, they had no probable cause to arrest him on any crime. He hasn't been indicted. They talked to him at an airport before he got on a private jet to fly to an island that has no extradition agreement with the United States. Have you heard anybody trying to prosecute him?
Not at all.
So what did they do? See, the feds are interesting. Who served the search warrant?
Homeland Security.
Now, what the hell do they have to do with that? That's a FBI mandate.
And excuse me, I did not mean to say the Department of Justice, but I meant to say Homeland Security.
Homeland Security deals with natural and man-made disasters. They deal with terrorist activity. Where does it come in to deal with sexual misconduct? That's the FBI, who came into existence to get Jack Johnson and set the foundation for the Mann Act, which was taking women across state lines for illicit purposes. They wanted to get Jack Johnson because he had a white wife and he took her with her friend girls across state lines to party. That's what they went after R. Kelly with. The Mann Act most recently. That's the FBI. So what are they investigating? Supposedly sexual misconduct? Why the hell do they have Homeland Security doing the search warrant when the FBI is just attending and watching? That's FBI business. See, the feds have this thing that when they want to cover for something, they'll say they were there serving a search warrant for something that has nothing to do with their jury. One that always makes me laugh is the FBI serves.
Protect this man, bro. Cause some fishy. Some fishy. Some fishy. Cause he said some stuff in that first one. They weren't trying to prosecute him. They weren't trying to indict him. They sent him. He went off to a whole other island without being extradited. Sum up, bro.
Serves a search warrant because they're investigating somebody for what is a state crime. The FBI doesn't investigate for state crimes. They investigate for federal crimes. What they're trying to do is get evidence on somebody else and give the person they're getting it from a cover so nobody comes back on them, or they're trying to find something that hooks them up so they can coerce them into being a witness for the federal government against somebody the feds want. Now, what is the connection that you get?
So he's saying this could be controlled by somebody who could be on the list, who could have been compromised, who's trying to use that as a cover up. Hey,
some people came to these parties and maybe they got compromised, and it ain't pretty what would come out. Now, I say this in context. October 2022 or November, Fox had me up in New Jersey as the judge on a mock trial with the 3 laptops. We swore in the technician, and the Hunter laptop wasn't 1 laptop, it was 3. He downloaded the entire contents. Myself, a former New York prosecutor who was in defense work, and another former New York prosecutor who was also in defense work. One represented the defense, one represented the prosecution, and we went over it. There's a whole lot of incriminating stuff in those, including emails between Biden and his son, where they're talking about, did your clients look in the black box behind the vent? Did they like what they saw? Those classified documents. And also, from what I was reading, one of the things about why the classified documents weren't turned over to the archivist is because they had incriminating evidence against the Biden-Obama administration. So why turn the evidence against the crooks over to the crooks so they get control? That's the same thing also that was suggested from those laptops, that something was going on that Diddy had some information on that they wanted to get out of his hands. So why do you serve?
So is he saying that even on the Hunter Biden laptop, there was some information that Diddy had that was incriminating towards other people? And now this third video that I'm gonna show you, bro, it's gonna seem to connect some stuff. I could be speculating, I could be conspiracy theorizing right now. But stuff is just seeming all too connecting nowadays, if that's the word. Is seeming all too strange nowadays. There are things that are constantly coming out. I would definitely say that things that are constantly coming out to where we know that government officials, people in prominent positions, have been very well compromised. I mean, and it's been clearly stated and shown on many occasions, on many times. But the American people have done nothing about it, have said nothing about it. The majority, or I would say the ones with the loudest voices, which would be the mainstream. A lot of these are ran by the people in the background. Let's say that the people in the background. Y'all know what I'm saying. But many of things have come out, and a lot of people just have been hush on.
A search warrant on one of 2 houses sitting on the same lot.
What do you think he should do? Do you think he should try to get out the country, or like what would you do if you was him?
They can get him. I don't think he's going to need to go get out of the country. I wouldn't say that. I would say no. They aren't after him. They got what they wanted, which from what I read on the laptops, the downloaded laptops, the downloads of the laptops, they wanted to get from him incriminating evidence against certain other people. And it wasn't Donald Trump.
So us knowing that Hunter Biden, as that Beyonce song say, we like to party. It seemed like Hunter Biden got some dealings in with this guy as well. And I'm pretty sure Hunter Biden do. It's connected to a lot of others as well. But I'm going to show you this third video. I want y'all to stay with me here. I want to get your minds flowing, bro.
Whatever you call it. So, yeah, go ahead.
The man who allegedly opened fire inside of one of former President Donald Trump's Florida hotels several years ago made some wild statements to law enforcement in his interviews, saying he was a sex slave for Sean Diddy Combs. Well, now that federal investigators have raided 2 of the rapper's homes and an arrest and indictment in a sex trafficking operation could be imminent, the man's comments sound a little less crazy. We'll talk about it. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. When I first heard it, I actually had no idea what this was even about. So this came up during multiple times during our live Q&A shows on the Law and Crime Network when we were covering questions on the Sean Combs case. And a name kept coming up in connection with Combs, and I couldn't understand it. Jonathan Oddie. Now, that name may seem familiar to you, and I will explain why. But what I'm also going to do is try to break down and possibly debunk the connection between this man and Combs, but maybe not. Because as wild as some of his claims were, they may make sense now. We'll talk about that. The reason
It was like I said, bro. The stuff that this man was saying, before Cassie, a little rod came out making, suing Puff Daddy. This man was saying that stuff. He was saying that stuff. And so the other things that he says wouldn't seem so far fetched to me. That they're going to seem now. I'm not even going to play with you. They're going to seem far fetched because you're going to be like, nah, bro. You just going off the deep end now. But just hear me out. If in the last video where Judge Joe Brown said that one of Hunter Biden's laptops had information about Diddy having some type of incriminating evidence, if Diddy rolling that deep, then who's to say that a lot of this stuff that this man is about to say, who's to say that it didn't flow that deep either? I'm just saying there is a lot of stuff that's coming out right now that's crazy, bro. It's literally as if we're living in the twilight zone right now. So much stuff is being defaced, it's being exposed. Stuff we kind of knew, but it's just the fact that it's coming out now amidst all that's happening, with the elections and everything. But even with Trump saying we're gonna drain the swamp, and you kind of see people, it seems like they shaking in their boots right now, bro. Let's get back to the video.
I say all of this is because after several bombshell lawsuits were filed against Combs, accusing him of sexual assault, physical violence, human trafficking, after federal agents raided his homes, reportedly pursuant to an ongoing sex trafficking investigation, all of these numerous videos and social media posts and old interviews and more, they've all popped up, particularly in the last 2 weeks, people trying allegations. Now, to be clear, Combs has not been charged with any crimes connected to this raid, but his charges may be on the horizon and the investigation continues. There is something that has surfaced. This police interrogation of a man who allegedly opened fire inside of one of former President Donald Trump's hotels, Jonathan Oddie. What is his connection to Diddy? Or should I say perceived connection to Diddy? Let me give you a little background. Now, you might remember back in 2018, a man went into the Trump National Doral Miami Hotel and Resort in the middle of the night and went on a rampage. The state attorney's office says that Jonathan Oddie fired shots inside the lobby and toward the chandelier on the ceiling.
Why did he go in Trump's hotel? Why specifically Trump's hotel, bro?
Then draped a giant American flag across the hotel's front desk. He allegedly walked around breaking items like computer monitors, throwing things around the lobby. When police officers arrived and confronted him, there was a shootout. Oddie seemingly tried to make a run for it, but he had been shot in the leg. He didn't get very far. Police found him hiding. They took him into custody. Oddie was taken to the hospital with 3 gunshot wounds, 2 in one leg, 1 in the other. And while at the hospital, Oddie reportedly made several bizarre statements and asked repeatedly to speak with the FBI, Secret Service, CIA, the media. When Oddie appeared before a judge, he didn't make any kind of wild outbursts, but he seemingly admitted to committing at least one of the crimes he's charged with.
1 count of aggravated assault with a firearm, 1 count of armed burglary with a battery or an assault, 1 count of armed criminal mischief causing damages greater than $1,000, 1 count of armed grand theft, and 1 count of making a false fire alarm offense. So those are the charges. Sir, do you have any money to pay for your own private attorney?
I will request as of now that the court grants me an attorney. I do have funds to pay for my attorney, but I haven't had time to meet with him yet. So I don't know if they're going to take my case or not.
Given the serious nature of these charges, I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you for this preliminary first appearance hearing. Well, it's very clear. It says surveillance footage and witness accounts corroborate that the defendant discharged a handgun.
And I don't know where he is now. Him having the whole shootout with the cops, bro. He probably under the jail. Um, ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. Especially with what he did, because he put a lot of people's lives in danger. But it's probably where a lot of people. It's probably where big names would want him at. I'll be quiet.
Gun multiple times at the arriving city of Doral Police Department and Miami-Dade Police Department law enforcement officers. So that, even though it doesn't specifically state 5, it does mention that there were more than, I believe, two uniformed officers, in addition to the unarmed security guard who threatened to kill as well. And there was damages greater than $1,000 at the Trump National Doral, because it says it was over 30,000. So anything else?
Well, unclear. Well, like I said, there's unclear. There's not a number specifically listed. There could have been one officer on one side and one officer on the other, and that's officers in general and plural. As far as that's, and I don't think I didn't see necessarily the alarm pushing, but that might have to push alarm.
It's not specifically mentioned here, although. Okay. Sir, everything's being recorded, just so you know. If you want to speak, it's fine. I'm happy to listen. Your attorney turned the microphone off, though. Probably a wise move.
Despite having happened so many years ago, though, he says some bizarre stuff, okay? After talking about various kinds of conspiracy theories, Adi asks this one thing out of the blue.
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
It's the black people.
Okay, first thing to talk about here. The Boule is a real thing. It is the senior leadership of Sigma Pi Phi fraternity, the oldest postgraduate fraternity founded by and for black men. It was a secret society in its beginning, but now has chapters all over the United States. This is an organization for black professionals already experienced in their careers, and Sean Diddy Combs is sometimes rumored to have been a member of Sigma Pi Phi, but no indication that he is. Tell me this whole thing isn't a little bit out there, right? Really makes you think about the people in your life, what they're all about. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Well, there is a service that can help you learn about the reality about the people in your life. Now, a little later in this interview, Adi says he settled a lawsuit with Combs, but doesn't really go into detail. This is when he starts to create a web of people that he believes are involved in a larger conspiracy.
I had settlement with Sean, okay? And he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so famous. They land all the contracts. It's these attorneys, which are Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes. Ben Mercedes worked for Bad Boy Entertainment for 4 years and worked for Hillary Rodman for 5, okay?
So Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes might be names you recognize. They are well-known legal partners who have represented celebrities like Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, Winona Ryder, Colin Kaepernick, Jussie Smollett. Now, Mark Garagos has helped Combs fight legal battles before. In fact, in 2015, the Los Angeles County District Attorney decided not to file felony charges against Combs after he reportedly assaulted a football coach at UCLA with a kettlebell weight. Now, Combs' son, Justin, was on the team, and the coach reportedly sent him home from practice. It was a whole big mess. Ben Mercedes, though, he has an even closer relationship with Combs. He was actually a Bad Boy Entertainment intern back when it was Bad Boy Records. Ben and his father, Kenny, were honored at a Variety magazine event called Power of Law back in 2019, and Combs was there to speak about them. Ben Mercedes also took the podium and had some kind words for Combs. He said, quote, Sean Combs gave me an internship which changed my life when I was in high school. For those who don't know, Bad Boy Records is the SEAL Team 6 of internships. It prepared me for everything being under Puff's tutelage, which is why I think when judges yell at me, it's nothing compared to Puff. He talked about joining up with Mark Garagos after he graduated from Georgetown, saying he believed Garagos truly liked him because, quote, no matter how hard he yelled at me, I was willing to take it based on everything I had experienced with Puffy. Okay, So Adi knows that Garagos and Maselius are connected with Combs, but the agenda that they're supposedly pushing is unclear at this point in the interview. But then Adi drops a bombshell. So in a 2023 lawsuit, Cassie, whose real name is Cassandra Ventura, she sued Sean Combs. She claimed that the rapper just supplied her with drugs, forced her to participate in group sex with prostitutes. She says that the sessions were often filmed. Okay, this is what she alleged in 2023. That lawsuit was settled. But now listen to what Adi says. Again, before this lawsuit was ever filed, before any of these details that she alleged were made public.
This is the part I was saying. Listen, bro.
Listen to what he said.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with people and stuff, and I was like a sex slave. Okay, for them that's what I was. That's all. All right.
That is eerie. That is eerie. But not only that, Adi says he got an STD from the encounter and sued.
I caught herpes, and I came back and I sued him for the herpes and won. But they did Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes.
Catching herpes is crazy, bro. So these people was wilding with no type of protection going on. And I'm not talking about him per se, because I mean, if you a sex slave, then I mean, what can you do about that? I mean, unless you want to be there. But not being protected amongst those exotic activities is diabolical, man.
Were his attorneys, okay? And Christopher Leon's here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so. They gave it back to me accidentally, and it's possible I threw everything out. It's possible I can produce a copy.
Of course, this was years before Cassie filed her lawsuit against Combs. So the investigators aren't really sure what Adi is talking about, and they move on. But knowing what we know now about the allegations that Cassie made and others made, Adi's statement seems to corroborate some of what she said, right? Remember, Cassie said she would be forced to have sex with escorts or prostitutes. Adi, who describes himself as an investor and entrepreneur, is also reportedly a former stripper and porn actor. Could it be that he was working as an escort in the Miami area when Cassie claims the session happened? But during the interview, Adi often makes references to a cabal of rich people who have agendas. He claims the hip-hop world had its own goal.
The hip-hop agenda is an agenda to move drugs along in the United States. You need to reform the DEA.
Bro, if that's true, the hip-hop agenda has an agenda to move drugs in and out of the United States. If that's true, then the bull crap that they push would make so much sense in the world, bro. The stuff that they put in their music makes all the sense in the world. It makes all the sense in the world. No wonder they don't care about the youth. No wonder they don't care about the messages that they put out. If they're international drug dealers, they could care less about the people, the consumers, when it comes to music, when it comes to their product. Heck, a lot of these dudes, and I know a lot of them be capping too, but a lot of these dudes then sold drugs before. So for them to get into the drug game and be connected to some bigwig who calls all the shots, who can keep them protected, and that's extra money into their pockets. I mean, hey, it wouldn't surprise me at all, not one bit.
They move all the dope, on private jets, which don't get screened by
customs,
by the inside the United States. Okay, they move what's called high grade powder MDMA, they move cocaine, and they move liquid cocaine in the bottles too. Okay, so they put the liquid cocaine in the bottles and they move it. I've seen the liquid cocaine, I've drank it myself, having sex with Diddy and Cassie. Okay, it's not good. He drinks it all the time.
This particular
Now watch what the creator is about to say.
statement brings your attention to multiple allegations in Cassie's lawsuit, as well as a lawsuit that was filed by Rodney Jones, Little Rod Jones, the former music producer for Diddy. They both talk about rampant drug use within Combs' inner circle. Now, Jones's filing says that Combs' chief of staff, Christina Quorum, required all employees to walk around with a fanny pack filled with cocaine, GHB, ecstasy or MDMA, marijuana gummies, and something called Tucci or pink cocaine. It actually doesn't contain any actual cocaine. It's apparently a mixture of ketamine, MDMA, and caffeine. Adi again mentions an alleged lawsuit settlement between himself and Combs, but really doesn't get the chance to elaborate further.
I've had a great life. I've settled $4.125 million with Diddy. Okay, but he's scared that I was an exposed.
I don't want to talk about Diddy right now. I want to talk about you. Help me understand you.
By the way, we have found no evidence that Combs paid Adi $5 million. Just want to be clear about that. But that is what Adi has to say about Combs in his interrogation. But how does this all...
Well, bro, watch. This ain't over with, bro. He about to say some stuff that's gonna be like the stuff I was saying. I don't know about that. And I'm not saying me, but I'm saying when you hear this, you're gonna be like, bro, that's far-fetched. But again, I go back to if there was evidence on Hunter Biden's laptop, that's what Judge Joe Brown said, that suggested that Diddy might have some incriminating evidence on some people, some bigwigs. Then I mean, hey, there could be some connection.
all connect back to a shootout at a hotel? Well, it seems Adi is making the connection between Combs and his lawyers and then presidential candidate Donald Trump. Adi had made many pro-Trump statements and seemed to believe that the attorneys were trying to take him down. So he decided that the American flag draped across the front desk of a hotel would send some sort of message. Now, while some of what Adi had to say seems to correlate with the new investigation into Combs or these new allegations asserted against Combs, we do need to take everything with a very large grain of salt because Adi is not the most reliable narrator. Here's another portion of his interview.
They've been promoting a hate agenda against Trump. So people hate him, okay, because they know he is very alpha, okay, very alpha in the sense that he likes money, he likes to make money, and he likes women, and they know they want to be famous in certain ways with Stormy, with other people, because they want him out of the government, okay? But it ain't happening because it's too smart for them. You understand what I'm saying?
You're trying to, right?
Don is intelligent. We have a similar type of intelligence and overview of things. The only thing is he's not seeing that Hillary is a distant cousin of his and Obama have a different plan for him. You understand? No offense with Obama. I love each and every American, but he was part of that 9/11 agenda. He's a CIA agent, an ex-CIA agent. That's why there's so much identity issues with Obama. Who knows his real name? They say he was born in Indonesia and he's also born in Hawaii. Nobody knows. Why? Because he's an ex-CIA agent.
Okay.
Basically, Osama bin Laden never existed. It was a creation of the CIA, and it was Obama in a cave talking and looking like an Arab. And then they bombed Twin Towers. Okay, so my problem is I'm here to expose each and single one of them to the American public for the crimes committed on September 11th, 2001.
Wild stuff. I know. But Could there be some truth sprinkled in with all of that conspiracy talk?
I'll say this, and I'm gonna end it there. I won't. My views don't align with what he said, so to say. But I ain't saying that it's not true either, because all I'm saying is that it's been other stuff that come out to where I was just like, wow. It's been stuff that's been happening now to where I'm just looking at the world and I'm like, wow. So really, at this point in my life, I'm just like, yo, hats off with everything. The sky's the limit. I don't know, anything is liable to be anything nowadays. People argue that men can have babies. We know that that's not the truth, and I will never believe that. But it's the fact that people are delusional enough to argue this stuff. And so for me, like, yo, we don't know what type of dealings are going on behind the scenes. We don't know who Diddy knows. We don't know who he's in connection with. I do know I've seen him in videos with Hillary Clinton. I do know I've seen him in videos with Barack Obama. I do know I've seen him in videos with Joe Biden. I do know I've seen him in videos with many prominent people, including Trump himself. So who's to say that Diddy isn't an informant or a CIA agent? I've heard those things too. Who doesn't say that he has close connections and close ties with powerful people? Heck, Little Rod Jones said that Lucian Grange, that's the director over Universal Music Group, a very powerful man. Him and Diddy had a close relationship together. So I mean, at this point, what old boy's saying, I'm not saying I believe it. I'm not saying I don't. All I'm saying is that that's not far-fetched to me. But there will definitely be more to be revealed with this stuff. It don't matter how much they try to hide, how much they try to cover up. The truth got to come out. Too much dirt has been done. The truth, we are in a year of judgment. We are in a year of exposure, and it's going to come out. So they can, ready or not, here God comes. He's going to find you. Hey, but man, look, I didn't held y'all long enough. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace, love. I'm out.
100, 100, 100, that's all I know. Ain't taking a dime off. We working, and that for sure. Ain't taking no time off. We serving, deliver hope. Forget all that crime talk. 100, 100, 100, that's all I go. Yeah, that